Hello, my lovely liberating Libras. Welcome back. As you know, I'm Sachi the Scorpio, and I am here to deliver your guided healing tarot for the month of November. Please like, comment, and subscribe. The more energy that you send to me, the more energy that I can send to you. And thank you, Libras, because you had the most likes out of the last segment. So I wanted to make sure that the one for November, I'm doing this on the last day that the sun is in Libra. I'm channeling that beautiful Libra energy as we move into Scorpio season. And Scorpio season is all about the cycle of death and rebirth, right? It's about the transformation, transmutation, the alchemy of life, how to take one form of energy and transmute it into another. So the tarot that we are going to be doing today, we are going to see what cycle are you stuck in? We're going to take a look at what needs to die and what needs to rebirth. So, Libra, what came up in the cleansing ceremony already? We had black flower fragrance come up. And this card, to me, symbolizes that there could have been some sort of black magic involved, right? And black magic is not like, I'm gonna human sacrifice. I mean, that is one type of black magic, right? But black magic is when you use your magic to supersede someone else's will in order to, impose your will on another person. So, not sure if you've done this to someone or someone has done it to you. I mean, who's to say, right? Black magic doesn't mean it's evil necessarily. I mean, it's just one type, right? Like, if you know that someone's going to murder someone and you do magic to stop that murder from happening, that's black magic, right? You're superseding over that person's will. Is that a bad thing? Well, I don't know. Only a Libra would get me in a moral quandary this quickly. You know what I mean? Like, there's a reason why you guys are the scales in the justice system, because you can, like, that's the type of stuff where you're like, all right, let's dig deep into, the balance of this. How do we balance a concept that is, a moral relativity sort of thing, and how do I make some sort of judgment? That is a Libra thing. But we had the black flower fragrance come up, setting an interesting tone for you guys for November, Libra. We have the Queen of Air coming out, and whoo, this is you, Libra. This is a Libra card, so it looks like you are in your very high divine feminine order when it comes to your communication. You're really in your element. I mean, we just left Libra season, and I mean, I think the whole world needed Libra season this year, right? Sometimes, some years it's like, oh, it's just a little bit too much air, some of the signs say. And like this year, everyone just is absolutely loving your like fresh breath before we go into Scorpio season. So it feels like you are hypercharged in your element. You might be a little bit teasy, maybe like like come and get it sort of energy. But we had Knocked Owl coming out using Blindside. So it feels like there was some sort of, okay, with the Libra energy, right, it's one-on-one partnerships, right, the stuff that you rule, justice system, one-on-one partnerships, balance. So it does look like you really integrated the themes of your season into your being. But with Knocked Owl coming out here using Blindside, what this says to me, because owls, they symbolize knowledge and wisdom, it looks like some information came to you that really blindsided you here. So let's take a look at what's going on, Libra. Let's see. What cycle is Libra stuck in? What cycle is Libra stuck in here? Whoa. Okay, there's a lot. So, Naked Before the Stars. Ooh, I'm just wow. Okay. Well, Naked Before the Stars to me is when you are studying your chart, when you are learning about astrology, really seeing the cycles for what is happening here. But let's see, it looks like there's a lot. Okay. So, because we had like Blindside with Knocked Owl coming out, you could really be like, really going into a lot of different things. You might be studying a lot, learning a lot. Let's see what's going on. What's the cycle that Libra is stuck in? So it might be just taking too much on, Libra. I mean, we saw that in some of your readings, you took way more, than your fair share of what was going on. Okay, we have anger and chains in reverse. So it looks like there is some sort of cycle where, chains, like how you feel constricted and how your anger management relates to the constrictions that you're in, what shackles you are wearing. Because it's in reverse, what it's telling me is that, like, literally how your anger responses, get get triggered when it comes to any sort of chain, right? And, you know, we all have chains, 2 chains. Oh, I don't know where that came from. But it looks like you guys are still in high spirits. Like I do feel like a high level of humor. Some of you might be watching a lot of like comedy is what I'm getting, instead of kind of watching, you know, the typical like scary, gory stuff. It looks like you're kind of in some, like, it feels like you're laughing a little bit. But anyway, we all have like chains here, right? And those are just things that hold us where we are. And what holds us where we are? Well, we do, right? We create our own chains. Some of them can be imposed upon us. But anyway, I feel that there is some sort of, you know, anger trigger that just isn't right here. Let's see what's going on. What's the cycle? What's the cycle? We have the World in reverse. This is Saturn in reverse. Honestly, I was kind of getting that black magic energy again. And again, it's a very moral gray area, right? It's one type. So imposing on someone's will, it might be when you feel constricted or you get angry. It's like that's kind of what happens. It's like you start wishing for someone else to do something other than what they're doing. Really interesting energy here, Libra. With the World in reverse, like what I initially felt is like not letting the world do what it's going to do. Okay. And you know, this is Saturn energy. So when it comes to the world, yes, like, I mean, the world in general is about like huge cycles closing, right? So it looks like you do have some personal cycles that are coming to a close, but you're resisting their change because you're resisting the natural flow to it. And it looks like it's how you are transmutating your anger energy about, you know, things that you can't control, things that are, you know, your chains. And we have, this is a Saturn card, right? And Saturn is all about patriarchal structures, relationship with the father, our wealth accumulation, our career in order to make money. Not the career we have to serve others, but the career we have in order to make money. So, you know, also, the divine masculine energy is in reverse is coming out here. So it looks like divine masculine energy is just not necessarily where it needs to be because of some sort of anger. What's the light energy here? What's this cycle? I'm just really getting like not letting things flow the way that they need to. We have 3 psychic types. I mean, all right, I'll do it for you, Libra. I will. This is a lot. You guys have a lot going on. So we have Duskull using Revival, Duosion using Double Link, Masharna in reverse using Fluffy Dream, and Probopass using Rock Tomb. Wow, okay. So there has been some sort of psychic revival. Like this is something it feels like you've known in the past, and it's more about like how you are viewing what is happening now has really revived some psychic energy in you. But it feels like it's causing more anger, right? And we need to be able to channel that anger in a healthful way. So Duskull is a ghost type. And with revival, I mean, it's possible that you guys might be wanting to revive the dead or something like that. I mean, some of you may. But more, I think that this is like a ghost of the past that is being revived. It's another cycle that is coming to be healed that has happened in the past. And we, you know, we're heading into Scorpio season. We already have Mercury retrograde in Scorpio, which is really bringing up some really old cycles from the dead, from that scorpionic, you know, death and rebirth cycle. It's like the universe just plucks one out and is like, hey, work on this. It says, it doggedly pursues its prey wherever it goes. However, the chase is abandoned at sunrise. So this is definitely some stuff that has been going on in the dark. It does feel kind of like that, you know, it's that dark psychic energy, that dark third eye energy. So definitely some dark mental energy. For some of you, this may be through a psychic connection rather than a physical one. So okay, it feels very, very mental because there's so much third eye here. We have Duosion using Double Link. So this is telling me that like this has to do with you and another person. Double Link, or yeah, whenever it's double ink, it's two people who are psychically connected here. So it says, when they're two divided brains think the same thoughts, their psychic power is maximized. So it looks like you and another person are really psychically connected when it comes to whatever these chains are and the anger about it. And we have Masharna using Fluffy Dream. And Fluffy Dream I take as like, you know, some sort of kind of like delusion, illusion, right? It's a dream, but it's a fluffy one, right? It hasn't taken shape. Like it really doesn't hold. And Masharna is a, you know, a dream Pokemon, but I mean, let's face it, it looks like a fetus or something. So for some of you, it may be a dream of having a child or something of that nature. It says, with the mist from its forehead, it can create shapes of the things from dreams it has eaten. So I definitely feel like it's like you and some person who have a psychic connection about some sort of dream that has not manifested. And with Probopass having Rock Tomb, this is a fighting type. So with Rock Tomb, it's like the way to fight this is through the tomb. I don't know if you are wishing not so great things on somebody, Libra. I'm no judgment, right? We all cast anger in different ways, but it looks like there is some sort of, yeah, dark energy that's making you kind of want to put somebody in a tomb. So yeah, we have Probopass. I always get big like father energy because we have like a dad and 3 kids here. I also take this as like someone who's in disguise wearing some sort of mask, because you know those like glasses that you wear with the big nose and the mustache? That's what it reminds me of. So definitely some really interesting energy here. It says it freely controls 3 small units called mini noses using magnetic force. So definitely there's some control mechanism going on that is in your mind, right? This is when someone who's wearing a mask is able to, you know, magnetically control others. And that is, you know, the electromagnetic control within the brain. So it does look like there's some sort of someone wearing a false mask that's like influencing multiple people to try to control them. And it definitely looks like it's causing some sort of anger in you where you feel chained to something. And this is very much like a really big deal, right? We have the world coming out. What's the shadow? What's the shadow? And we can see it's amplified with you and someone else. Yeah, definitely. There's definitely someone else here. We have 2 trainer cards, and trainer always, you know, means the other person. We have trainer here using Stealthy Hood. Someone definitely is very like easily veiled, easily mask themselves here. Like trainer using Stealthy Hood. This is someone who can really fake things very well. And I feel like it's kind of that Probopass energy of whoever's sending out these electric or magnetic, you know, things in order to get these little, you know, the 3 other noses to follow it. They're very, very hidden. We have Kangaskhan using Mega Punch. So this is definitely a big deal. Like, remember how I said like something blindsided? Like this is definitely a Mega Punch to you. We have Kangaskhan, which is like the mother Pokemon. So, you know, we had fatherhood sort of energy and possible father energy, and we have mother here. So I definitely feel like for some of you this is family influenced. It says, if it is safe, the young gets out of the belly pouch to play. The adult keeps a close eye on the youngster. So again, it's kind of like do what I say, you know, because I'm in charge, and kind of bossing people around. And we did have, you know, Masharna, which looks like a fetus. So I feel like there's definitely some sort of child. Okay, yeah, the trains want to say, yeah, there's some sort of like parent-child sort of thing going on here. With trainer using Professor Kukui, this other person, like, usually when this comes out, I take it as a professional, but because they're wearing a false mask, what I'm getting is like someone else is just like, all right, I'm a professional here. Like, what's the answer? Oh, I have it in my pocket. But honestly, it feels like this person is, no, they're wearing a false mask. It does not feel like they're professional. Like, even though they wear, right, they wear this hood, which is like a lab coat. It's like, oh yeah, I'm a professional here. It's like, no, actually, that's your false mask here. Woo. Okay, so, I mean, it feels like you're psychically connected to someone who makes you feel like you're in chains, and the anger. All right, well, what needs to die in this cycle? I feel like this has been going on for like over or like almost a year or around a year. The world to me is like one solar year. We have artificial heart in reverse. So the thing is, your heart in the matter does not need to, or like does not need to die in this situation, right? It's not that you have to like, just because someone else isn't real with you doesn't mean the feelings weren't real with you. You know, like the way you feel about it is absolutely legitimate, right? Even if someone is trying to swindle us in some way. But, you know, even when that happens, the answer is not to harden the heart. So what I'm getting, you know, what to die here is not any sort of, you know, fake love or, yeah. Ooh, okay, well, that wanted to come out. We have Gemini Sun energy, 10 of air in reverse. So it looks like communication does not need to be whisked away is what I'm hearing, right? 10 is when communication between you and another person, you know, ends some sort of cycle, right? 9 is when you complete it within yourself. This card upright to me is kind of like the Cinderella story of like, all right, bye. He's like, no, but come back. It's like, no, I'm going to be back. You have my slipper, you dumbass. So there definitely is some sort of like, you know, cycle that is going to happen, right? A huge communication cycle has ended. Or no, it does not need to end. Sorry. I feel like it did, and there's like a new cycle beginning, but it's not that things have to be separate in communication, especially about, I don't know, the artificial heart. What's the light energy here? We have Leo using fire main. So like for this, I'm hearing like fire main, fire main. I don't know why Lil Wayne and 2 Chainz like both came out. I don't know if someone's listening to a lot of rap music. But Leo, this is some Leo energy to me. So very much, you know, ego based, like, you know, like, oh yeah, I don't know, like doing things for show, right? Leo loves attention. That's what they live off of. So I'm feeling, you know, with fire main that there's some like masculine energy of like, I'm just getting like the world's on fire, the world's on fire. It's really interesting. So it's like that energy needs to go away, right? Because if someone's consistently telling you like, oh, something's burning up, something's on fire, right? Like this constant sense of chaos, like that's going to make you feel like you have a chain. And then it causes this anger, which is, you know, you're caught in this loop. So what needs to die is some sort of like hyper masculine, like fire main energy, like this fire ego, this ego sort of thing. It says, the stronger the opponent it faces, the more heat surges from its mane and the more power flows through its body. So this is definitely kind of like a psychic vampire sort of thing, right? It's like going up, and it's like the conversation between you and someone else like doesn't need to end here. It doesn't need to be the closure of that cycle is what I'm getting. But what does need to end is like taking on stronger and stronger opponents, maybe that oppose you. And it might be about these moral gray areas, right? Because as Libra, naturally, I mean, you're the ones who are supposed to find balance and answers to those sorts of things. That's why you rule the justice system of like, you know, like killing in self-defense. Is that okay, right? Like as a society, most people have agreed like, yeah, that's okay. But you know what I mean? Like there was a process in order for society to reach that conclusion. And you better believe it that Libras were like, you know, right on board with these decision-making trees. But it looks like taking on stronger and stronger opponents where you feel powerful based on some sort of conflict here, that brings anger. That's what really needs to die. It's like, you don't need to end these conversations, but getting power by, getting fire running through your body here is just, We have Litwick in reverse and Pokemon Breeder in reverse. So again, this other person's popping up. So what I'm getting, Litwick trip over in reverse, like, you don't need to psychically trip over this. Like, quit tripping is what I'm hearing. Wow, there is like a lot of like rappery energy here. Like, quit tripping. Just quit it. Like with Litwick, this could be about a flame, because it is like a candle, but it's like mentally you need to quit tripping, especially by whoever gets this like ego rush. It says, while shining a light and pretending to be a guide, it leeches off the life force of any who follow it. Yeah, again, it's like this false mask of like, yeah, like I'm a professional, I know everything, da 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 da, and it's just like straight up, like they pretend to be a guide. They pretend to be a guide, but they're not. It's like they're draining some sort of life force, right? And it's like basically these strong, like, opponents, these strong arguments here are like how they get stronger, right? It gets power running through their body. So, whew. And with Trainer, Pokemon Breeder, again, it's this other person. Pokemon Breeder in reverse can mean, it can be like this is holographic too, so definitely wants to come out. Again, it could be about children. It could maybe be about someone who doesn't want to have children or hasn't had children, or someone who doesn't believe that like people should be having kids anymore or something. Don't trip over that. Don't trip over that. That's not the case, right? That's not the case. Like, I saw this thing recently, Libra, where it was like it's elitist propaganda for them, like, to tell the masses that like our world is so terrible that you shouldn't be having children. I mean, yes, definitely heal your wounds and do conscious parenting and conscious creating when it comes to children, but like, don't think that our world is too broken that we can't, have children. Like, that's how we bring saviors into the world, But all right, so yeah, definitely some huge cycle that needs to die completely this needs to die completely within this cycle. Let's see what needs to be reborn in the situation. What needs to be reborn as part of this cycle? Okay, well, a lot of things. Obviously, there's a lot going on, Libra. Revenge in reverse. So yeah, do not do any sort of revenge. We have Naked Before the Stars. It felt like that was the one that wanted to come out, especially because it came out earlier. So it looks like what needs to rebirth is, being naked before the stars. Like I mentioned, this is about learning astrology, knowing your own natal chart, like really being naked under the stars of your own chart and the universe, right? But this is also being very, very honest. This is, like, being naked, I take as being very vulnerable of like, yep, this is, how I feel and da 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 da. So, ooh, for some of you, I don't know if you've gotten a little romantic under the stars with somebody, but that should be rebirthed is what I'm getting. Oh, Libra. I mean, Scorpio season, Libra is cuffing season when you get in the relationship, and Scorpio season, Scorpio rules sex. So I do feel like this is a very sexy time for you guys. Congratulations. All right, let's see what needs to be rebirthed here. Coming out stuck. Ooh, we have the Tower and the King of Water. Wow, Mars and Scorpio. Yeah, so the Tower, this is, an inevitable Tower moment, right? Tower is when everything starts to come crashing down. But this Tower isn't like that necessarily, because, Mars is the planet of action, and typically it's when Mars strikes it down. This is, the two towers, two people in some sort of tower situation that's like, you know what, this might end, but we're gonna sit here and like let it emotionally erode away slowly. Like, we will take the emotional, yeah, I feel like some of you're gonna be naked above the stars while it's raining. A lot of romantic energy, especially with Scorpio coming out. This is like deep, deep passion. I'm feeling some like masculine energy that's just like, ooh, like, I'm going to destroy you, baby, but you're going to love it the whole time. Oh my God, Libra, who is this? Whoo! Like, this person is very, very passionate and very sensual with you. But it is time to be, I'm really getting that this is astrologically and really being honest with yourself and others, and, you know, take things, if things are going to crash down, let them, right? Like, this is Scorpio season. This is the time of transformation. It's funny, I accidentally hit my glass and like so much fear shot through me because I thought I was going to spill it. Like, I feel that fear that you feel, but like, that needs to rebirth, right? That fear should not be turned to anger. It needs to turn into vulnerability in some sort of way. This is really, really heavy, passionate energy. Like, I'm really getting like, be stuck in the okayness that things can crumble if they want, right? But Scorpionic energy is on your side. Like, things are changing. Things are changing. I think it's really a good idea to check what is going on in your chart, what transits are going on. That might help you see the Tower moments ahead. What's the light energy here? What needs to be, what should rebirth here? We have fighting energy and playful in reverse. So there's some sort of fighting that's going on, maybe about Rock Tomb. Again, it might be like, oh, I wish you were dead. Like, even as a joke, that's still not something that you want to cast, right? That is black magic. Even if you say it like about someone that you don't even know, like, oh, like, I hate that guy, I wish he passed, right? Like, you don't want to say that kind of stuff. Because what I'm getting is what needs to rebirth is this fighting energy that's not really playful here. So it does look like it's like the conversation doesn't need to end here, right? It's a cycle that doesn't need to split, but the fighting energy that isn't playful really needs to change. And this Charmander, as you can see, like, you know, he stole his glasses so that he can't see clearly. So it can be withholding information, and it's like, Nana boo boo, I got this, right? And of course the little boy is responsible for his emotions, right? We all are responsible for the way that we emotionally respond to things, but that does not, you know, take away any sort of responsibility for Charmander, who's stealing something that's not his and not being nice about it, right? He's being a bully. So the fighting needs to rebirth here. It needs to rebirth. It says, my Charmander is so rambunctious. I wonder if we can become good friends. So any sort of like fighting energy about like being friends or something like that, like if it all comes crashing down or like slowly eroding is what I'm getting. Because it doesn't feel like a crash. It feels like a slow emotional erosion through like possible manipulation or something. Like, this Scorpionic energy needs to go from unevolved to evolved is what I'm getting. What's the shadow here of what needs to rebirth? Beedrill using poison, saying, yeah, this is some sort of poison that goes to the heart. It's fighting energy that's not playful, where like it is intentionally saying things to hurt people is what I'm getting. It stings. It's a poison sting right to the heart chakra. It says, may appear in a swarm, flies at violent speeds, all the while stabbing with a toxic stinger on its rear. So it does talk about coming in swarms, and we have like, you know, this rain coming down. So it can be multiple people, right? We see that there's one person in particular where when you are psychically connected, this pain or this anger is amplified. This feeling of chains is amplified here. But it does look like there are multiple people involved here. So whatever is causing this poison of the heart, right? Like, it's not that you have to stop the conversation, but the way that power surges through these sorts of interactions really, really need to be rebirthed here. And I want to say it has to do with the anger, because we have transformation of Mars here. And Mars is the planet of action, but also of war and aggression. So it's really bringing that Scorpionic energy to the way that you respond to something. All right, I'm gonna... let's bring a little light in here. Libra, I'm doing a spread on how to help with this transformation. If you are interested booking a private reading, my special for this is $33.33, only 10 spots for Scorpio season. So if you would like to grab one, please feel free to email me at sachithescorpioservices@gmail.com. All right, let's see here. What can help Libra with this situation? What can help Libra, Sun and Rising, and Venus? We have the Council of Light, Divine Orchestration, Helper in Subtle Realms. Yeah, it really wants to like make itself known that it's in reverse, and it's going right to this Pokemon breeder in reverse with the Stealthy Hood. There is someone or even multiple people that are acting like they are of some Council of Light, that they are of divine orchestration, like, yes, this is what's happening and this is this, and that is not the case. We saw multiple times that, you know, this is a false mask that this person or these people are wearing for you. And it's not about that you have to not ever speak to them again, but the way in which this fighting energy hurts you, right, really needs to change, because that's how you'll know when it's of the Council of Light, right? And this is like Jesus and Buddha and Mary and, you know, all the high divine order. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on so many cultures at the moment. So I feel like there might be a very like Eurocentric energy here. But instead, like, you'll know if it's of the Council of Light and of divine order if it doesn't make you angry, right? What brings you more and more love into your life, more love into your heart that doesn't sting your heart, that isn't based off of, you know, sucking the life force out of people by arguing, it looks like that's how you know that it's not of divine order. When it drains your energy, when you're filled with anger, where you feel constrained or in chains, when it starts liberating you and freeing your heart, that's when you really know, like, yeah, this is of divine order. So, okay, Libra, I hope that you got what you needed. Again, if you are interested in the Scorpio season special, feel free to reach out to me. Thank you again for being #1 in this season, or for this session. And I hope that you all had a very, very happy birthday. And I hope Scorpio season treats you well. Sending you tons and tons of love, a big hug, and a kiss on your third eye. Mwah.